Hey folks, Brian King here. I posted this morning that I had a huge epiphany today that I wasn't able to describe very well. And I thought about typing it up, but I thought it would lack something if I just typed it up. So I'm speaking it. So the first response from people when I posted that was, oh, do tell, do tell. And I'm usually not sneaky like that, but I think that one of the reasons I posted it was because I wanted to have some accountability to put it into words instead of just sitting on it. Because when you have certain insights into, hey there, Sine, when you have certain insights into the way you're doing things and the way to make things better, you don't want to lose those by saying, oh, I have to remember to think about that later. When I posted it on Facebook, it was my, now you have to think about it. Now you have to get back to it because you put it out there. So what happened was this morning I had a coaching session with a new client. And my coaching sessions are 15 minutes long. And people that are used to the therapy model where you go and talk for 45 minutes or 50 minutes, see, even Penny's offended. You talk for that long and you may or may not get anywhere. There's a whole lot of bantering around about feelings and emotions in your past and all that stuff. And I have a master's in social work. I had my license for many, many years to practice. Someone tried to call just now. And I stopped doing therapy because it was so ineffective. It wasn't getting anywhere. People were spending lots of money on me and they were spending, upwards of a year or more trying to get someplace and they really weren't making any movement. And I was always exploring other ways to help people more fast, more quickly, more in the moment, get their results now, not eventually. And what I've kind of done over the years is this system just kind of evolved from all these different things that I was learning over the years. And my wife has this wonderful little nickname for me. She calls me the anomaly. And that's not only referring to how unusually large of a hemorrhoid I can be to be married to from time to time, because that can be said of any guys, and I'm no different. But when it comes to how I am within my family, when you look at the rest of the family members, when you look at how I compare to the stereotypical guys, you can't package me. You can't put me into a mold. And I've also had some very unusual life experiences that have required me to become resourceful and reflect in very unique ways. But why should it be any different that the way I help people be different too? Because over the years, I was taught social work, I was taught psychology, I was taught coaching. And there were all these different ways I was told that I was supposed to do it, the way it should look. And over the years, I've kind of gone in and out of trusting my gut in terms of what I'm supposed to be doing, in terms of what I want to be doing, what feels right to me versus what I should be doing. Every time I talk to one of my mentors, and I love them all dearly, I tend to get pulled back into that doubt again in terms of, are you doing it correctly, Bri? Are you doing it the way I taught you? Are you doing it the way it should be done? And I get thrown off balance, and the quality of what I do with my clients starts to suck a little bit because I'm ignoring my instinct. I'm ignoring that own anomalous style, that unique way of doing things I developed over the years. But this morning, when I talked to that client, I was right in the know, right in the flow, right into the gut of doing it Bri's way. And man, was I on fire. I mean, the stuff that we were nailing and dealing with, and she had scheduled half an hour with me. In 15 minutes, she had a page and a half of notes of insights, of paradigm shifts, of action steps she was going to take. And we decided to just say, hey, let's wait a bit. Why don't we take this page and a half of concrete action steps and different beliefs that you are now going to implement in your life, go do some work with these things. Then when you start to see some results, come back and we'll do the other 15. And everybody that I work with these days, including people that have been on and off coaches and counselors and therapists for the past 23, 30 years, they come and work with me and say, Bri, we've never experienced anything like this before. And people that I talk to, unfortunately, that are used to the therapy model think, no, that's how it's done. My psychiatrist told me that's how it's done. My doctor, who only knows this way, tells me this is how it's supposed to be done. And they go right back to the same stuff that hasn't worked for the past 10 years because they're told that's how it's supposed to be done. And I have found myself thinking, man, maybe I should go back to that model. Maybe if that's what everybody wants, maybe I should go back and start doing therapy again. And I thought to myself, are you kidding me? Are you going to settle for doing less for people because it's what they want? And then the grand epiphany was, Bri, let yourself be the anomaly that you are. You don't have to try and convince people of anything. You just have to keep showing them that your way works, that you can have life transformation in a small amount of time, that you can leave stuff that has plagued you for your entire life and shift it into something better in minutes, not in months, not in years. And this is something, like I said, I've been refining over the past 30 years at least. And it wasn't until about a week or so ago when one of my clients said, Brian, man, what you do is so different. What I don't know what you do in these 15 minutes that's so different, but man, this is powerful stuff. Then it got me thinking, what do I do? I'm not entirely sure. Then I thought about it and realized that there are 6 steps that I do every single time with every client that make sure that those 15 minutes are powerful. And I finally wrote them down. Now, of course, they're for me so that I can use them to guide in case I'm a little spaced out, didn't have my coffee soon enough in the morning. I can go back to my clients and tell them, okay, this is where we're starting. This is what's next. This is what's next. This is what's next. And there's always these light bulbs going off and things popping, everywhere. And this is whoever I talk to, whether I can relate to what they're going through or not. It's just really awesome. So get ready for the anomaly. I've been kind of doing that all along anyway, when I'm really speaking from the heart and doing my videos like I am now. But now it's going to be more in service of that trusting that what I do works and not worrying about what am I going to call it. Am I going to call it coaching? Am I going to call it therapy? I'm not going to call it therapy because people aren't broken. People sometimes get stuck and they want to move into a different plane, into a different behavior, into new results. Doesn't mean you're dysfunctional. Sure as hell doesn't deserve a label. It just means that you need some new knowledge and skills. So the anomaly is going to be the me that shows up with the approach that I've found that has helped me and the hundreds of people I work with over the years to find rapid shifts from what they no longer want to what they do. And I don't know what to call it. It doesn't fit comfortably into, one category or another. So I guess for now, think of me as a catalyst. I'm someone that helps create a reaction in you that creates change, that leads to new possibilities. So join me and, welcome to the anomaly that has always been me, that I now know that I really need honor if I'm going to be true to myself and how I serve people. So that was the grand epiphany. Hopefully it was worth waiting for. And stay tuned for what's next. Thank you all so much for joining in. I adore you. This is Brian. We'll talk again soon.